We leave Leipzig and make our way to the last station of our trip, Padua. In Piazza Capitaniato, in the buildings of the School of Philosophy, the psychology laboratory rooms were crowded with students and researchers. The laboratory was founded by Vittorio Benussi in 1919, and in 8 years it became one of the best equipped and productive laboratories in Italy. Silvia De Marchi began working in the laboratory as an undergraduate student. In a short life, she conducted relevant researches in perceptual psychophysics and forensic psychology. She was the first woman to obtain a degree in experimental psychology in Italy. The preliminary work for her thesis was read to the audience by Benussi at the 4th National Congress of Psychology in Florence in 1923, when De Marchi was an undergraduate student. Silvia Gilda Maria De Marchi was born on the 25th of February 1897 in Pavia by Rosa Porro and Luigi De Marchi, professor of physical geography. In 1902, the family moved to Padua, where her father was appointed full professor. In 1919, she began to study philology, literature and history at the University of Padua, and in 1920-21, she began to attend the Laboratory of Experimental Psychology. Her graduate thesis, defended in 1924, was the first from the psychology laboratory, as stated in a lovely letter of congratulations from the staff. Her work was aimed at experimental foundations of forensic psychology. De Marchi urged the introduction of objective measures to assess the reliability of witnesses in the court. She hypothesized that a concordance of court depositions can be due to the observation of a fact as it actually happened, as well as to a uniformity of reaction to certain events and a uniformity of memory errors. According to De Marchi, the respiratory diagnosis was more reliable than trusting witnesses based on subjective criteria. The inspiration-expiration ratio was introduced by Benussi in 1914 and was calculated on from the traces of a pneumograph. De Marchi claimed that, even if the breath amplitude could be deliberately modified by the subject, this would not alter significantly the respiratory curves. In other words, considering the value of a testimony in relation to the memory of a fact, we have reported some experiences to prove that memory is almost deceiving, and that an absolute persuasion is not an index of correspondence with reality. From October 1925, she was appointed voluntary assistant at the psychology laboratory, continuing after Benussi's death in 1927. From 1929 to 1932, she was intern at the Institute of Experimental Psychology under the direction of Cesare Musatti. She used the method of magnitude estimation before Lewis reached its own. A series of these experiments was published by De Marchi in 1929. She showed to the subjects different configuration of dots for a very short time to prevent that dots were counted, and asked them to evaluate numerically their scene collectivity. In some cases, the subjects were overestimating the number of dots, and in other cases, they were underestimating. The variations were subject-based. The overestimation or underestimation of real individual constants. De Marchi found that the mean value for overestimators and underestimators was nowhere near the real number of dots, and generalizing these findings, advised the judges to be careful in evaluating information from different witnesses in a courtroom. She observed the interactions between internal factors representing the awareness behavior of the subjects towards the stimuli, and external factors given by the objective conditions in which the stimuli were presented, as determinants for subjects' estimations. Silvia De Marchi conducted original and interesting experiments on forensic psychology, as well as on magnitude estimation, and they are worth to be recalled nowadays. In 1932, she married Cesare Musatti. They had one child, Riccardo. In 1935, she had a miscarriage due to infection and fever. She died a few months later of mastocytosis. These are the stories of 7 women born in the 19th century who worked hard to become scientists and published pioneering works in their fields. These women have been largely forgotten, and this is a journey in time and space to meet and remember them. It's time to get in. The train is ready to start another journey.